What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and this podcast being brought to you by DraftKings. Remember, when you download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app, use that code JUICE at sign up. Play $5, get $50 instantly in Pick 6 credits. All right, so not a great night for me last night. I bet favorites, and I laid points. Somebody reminded me, they said, Matt, hey, I thought you stopped doing that. That's true. I was doing that with football. I need to start doing that with college basketball. So let's get back into the dog and taking of points. That's what I'm doing here tonight. Couple of college basketball bets. Plus, I have a play on the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight because you guys all want it. And I'm going to give it to you, even though, and I'll tell you a story a little bit about Mike Tyson, about how this fight, I think, is going to wind up going tonight before UFC 309 tomorrow night, Saturday night, which is a real combat sport event for the UFC in New York City with Stipe Miocic trying to fight and dethrone the GOAT himself, Mr. John Jones, in the heavyweight division. So we will get to all of that coming up here in just 1 second. But guess who's back, boys and girls? Omaha Steaks, they are back. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. Sponsoring the Juice again this holiday season. Skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus a $30 reward card when you shop early and score an extra $30 off with the promo code JUICE. With 5 generations of expertise, they are consistently delivering the world's best steak experience, and gift experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift throughout the curated gift packages starting at $89.99. From legendary steaks to mouth-watering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, Daily Juice listeners, you get an extra $30 off with that promo code JUICE and a $30 reward card when you shop early. That's a 50% offer at omahasteaks.com and an extra $30 off with the promo code JUICE. Minimum purchase may apply. I got a gift package sent to me. It's upstairs. I've already eaten the filet. I couldn't wait. Had to go after it. Sirloin, that's on the docket tonight. The jumbo franks that I got are tremendous. Awesome gift packages for $89.99. I mean, my goodness gracious, it's so much food. Go check it out. Use that code JUICE. Great to have Omaha Steaks back. Really appreciate their support for the Daily Juice Podcast. All right, like I mentioned, not a great night last night. Eagles get there for us. If you were on the live stream, I told you to bet the same game teaser to pull it down to 43.5 and go over, and to give the Commanders plus 10 or 10.5. That hit. So for me, it was a 2-3 night. Officially, it's a 1-3 night. UNLV won, didn't cover. They won by 11. Wichita won, didn't cover. They won by 6. The props, well, that game was all wonky and crazy. Went 0-2 on the props, so down a unit there. So 1-3 night, down 2.25 units on the night. So we're down for the week. Going to have to rally here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Close out the week strong. Still could have a winning week. Had a winning week in week 1. May not have a winning week in week 2 here in the month of November, but let's see if we can get after it here tonight and get back on the winning track and get rolling here. We've had more winning days and losing days in November, but not enough winning days. So we need to get rolling here and have a couple of 3-0s or 4-0s in the docket here this weekend to kind of pick up the pace a bit as we roll. Kind of a bummer, man, but I'm not laying big numbers for a bit in college basketball. Learned my lesson yesterday. Somebody in the comment section on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming in and saying, hey, I thought you stopped doing that. Yep, I did, but whoops. When you bet every night, sometimes you forget the rules you set for yourself. So, duh. All right. I moved to Las Vegas in December of 2015. At the time, I was working for a radio company, and the radio company had brought me in to do 2 interviews before my show started. The first interview was with Mike Tyson. The second interview was with Clayton Kershaw. Pretty good back-to-back interviews, if you ask me, in person, in my studio at the time, which was inside the Palazzo, if you know Vegas, where it used to be attached or in the front of a restaurant called the Ghazi Stadium. It's no longer there. It's not just called the stadium, and it's never really used. It's kind of like a ghost area. It's very creepy and weird, but I spent multiple nights. You guys want to know where my heart issues and all my health issues started? Well, it came from working nights 3 years running working from 7 to 10 Pacific time with a bar tab every night to eat, drink, and do whatever the hell I wanted to do. And I ate and drank and did whatever the hell I wanted to do for 3 years. And it nearly put me in the ground because it's not very healthy to eat that type of food and drink alcohol and do what I was doing. So I had to reshuffle my whole life. And I did that when I turned 40 and changed. But from 37, 38, 39, and 40, not great. Not great. But I tell this story because this is one of my most prized possessions. This is an autographed Mike Tyson glove. I got this autographed Mike Tyson glove when I interviewed Mike Tyson back in October of 2015. I moved in December officially to Vegas in 2015. So as we start the 2025 year, we're 9-year anniversary coming up very quickly for me to moving to Las Vegas, heading into my 10th year of living here, which is the longest I've ever lived anywhere besides Andover, Massachusetts, which is my hometown. So I have a very deep love for this market in Las Vegas, and I love living here. But this fight is a sham. It's a sham, okay? Jake Paul is going to win this fight. How? I don't really know. But I've told you guys this before. As I watched Jake Paul's fights, and I've seen them all, I'm a boxing fan. Been boxing for about 5 years. I haven't been active as much as I would like to be recently, but I still hit bags, I still run, I still train. And watching Jake Paul, and I have coaches here in Vegas who have trained with Jake Paul, who have people who know Jake Paul, Jake Paul takes boxing seriously, okay? But Jake Paul has fought one professional fighter in his life in Tommy Fury and lost. Everyone else he has fought is a tomato can, washed up fighter or MMA has-been. Anderson Silva could have ended Jake Paul. Go watch the fight. He pulled his punches. He literally stopped. I couldn't believe what I saw, but I saw a man pull up and not attack. I saw a man take a dive. And I know that's a huge accusation to make, but these Jake Paul fights have not been on the up and up, in my opinion. I have no evidence to back any of these claims up. I'm just telling you what I think, okay? I don't believe they're on the up. I can't believe that the Texas Boxing Commission sanctioned this. And since they sanctioned it, Nevada is taking bets on it. Multiple states are taking bets on it. Some states are not. But the handle on this fight tonight for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is going to be enormous. No one can believe it, but it's going to be enormous. There's people who are saying that the handle for Jake Paul, Mike Tyson will be bigger than what we'll see tomorrow night between Stipe Miocic and John Jones. I'm sick to my stomach to say, yes, I probably agree with that, because that's the state of boxing. It's a clown show. It's a circus. It's not skill. Mike Tyson is 58 years old. They're fighting 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds with 14-ounce gloves. Heavyweights fight 3-minute rounds. Normally, if you're fighting at the Mike Tyson level, it's 12 to 14 rounds. Mostly 12. With 10-ounce gloves. Sometimes 8-ounce gloves. This is 14-ounce gloves. It's going to be hard to knock somebody out with a 14-ounce glove. Can these guys do it? Sure. If you're betting Mike Tyson to win, you're betting strictly on your heart. You're betting strictly on your heart. And I don't believe Mike Tyson will win this fight, either by decision or by knockout. Mike Tyson's not winning this fight. I think it's worthwhile sprinkling on Jake Paul by knockout, TKO, or disqualification because Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. In that interview I told you about, I stood, 2 feet away from Mike Tyson. He didn't like one question that I asked, and his head snapped. And the eyes that met me showed me that you never play with Mike Tyson. He's one bad question. He's one bad moment from snapping. Was the weigh-in altercation yesterday fixed and staged? I don't know. But Jake Paul stepped on Mike Tyson's toes, and Mike Tyson slapped him across the face hard. Now, again, staged? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But Mike looked genuinely upset. He looked pissed off. So is Mike Tyson going to try to knock out Jake Paul? I don't know. He's 58 years old. Gas tank is a big concern. How long can he go? 2-minute rounds. Mike should be able to conserve his energy. 14-ounce gloves. I think it's probably a lot of dancing. I think it's probably trying to get Mike into deep water if you're Jake Paul. Don't get hit early, because in the first couple of rounds, that's when Mike's going to be the most dangerous. Jake Paul wins by decision is my call. I think Jake Paul wins the fight. He wins on the card. Why? Because he's the cash cow. He's the guy bringing all the people. There are so many kids watching this fight tonight who have no idea who Mike Tyson is. The first ever pay-per-view I ever bought was Mike Tyson against Evander Holyfield. When Mike bit him, I thought the world was ending. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what do you mean? How did this happen? That's crazy. But I'm 47 years old. If you're betting Mike, you're my age. You're like, oh, it's Mike Tyson. He's 58 years old. This is geriatric beating. This is elder abuse. A 28-year-old fighting a 58-year-old? What are we doing? This is nuts. How can Jake Paul lose this fight? By getting knocked out or taking a dive? One of the two. Does it benefit Jake Paul to take a dive? I don't think so. Why? Just keep the train rolling if you're Jake Paul. I guess maybe you get a rematch clause and you make some type of rivalry out of it. I don't know. Betting the draw is something I've heard a lot of sharp people recommend at 12-1. Why? Well, Mike Tyson gets to save face. We go the distance, and the cards are split. Majority decision, split decision, or a straight draw. If we get a knockdown, Mike Tyson knocks Jake Paul down, and then Jake Paul wins the majority of the rounds, 10-8 round, we wind up with a split, a push with a draw. It's not a crazy bet. For me, I'm simply just going to come in and bet the over. It was 4.5 at certain books, 5.5 now at every book. Still take the over. Over 5.5 rounds. I don't see this fight going anywhere but the cards, and I don't see any outcome except Jake Paul winning this fight. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Mike Tyson knocks him into next year. I hope Mike Tyson in the second round ends this charade of Jake Paul and boxing. Wannabe boxing. It's not really boxing. But it's sideshow entertainment. It's WWE with gloves on. All of it. As a boxing purist and a boxing fan and someone who boxes myself, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I love the sport. I love what the sport represents. I love the test of will. I love the test of energy, the test of mental fortitude, of your gut, of your toughness. I love it all. It's awesome. There's no better place in my mind when you want to test who you are. Be tired in the ring and getting hit hard. You will learn a lot about yourself when you are tired in the ring and getting hit hard. Who are you and what are you willing to risk? It's an unbelievable moment, and I recommend it to everybody. Boxing is a young person's game. It's a young man's game, and Jake Paul's got 30 years on him. Be very surprised if Jake Paul does not win this fight. I will love it if I'm wrong, but Jake Paul wins the fight. The bet, over 5.5 rounds. If you want to bet by decision, go right ahead. You want to bet the fight to go the distance, go right ahead. You want to lay $2 on Jake Paul, do it. I just don't recommend minus 210, 220, 240 bets on the juice. I just don't recommend that, okay? But you should do that. If you're doing parlays tonight, it should be in your parlay. Jake Paul just to win the fight, okay? Find a dance partner that you like and Jake Paul to win, okay? I will be stunned if Jake Paul loses this fight tonight here to Mike Tyson, but I will always treasure the glove. I'll treasure the interview. He's a very unique and incredible figure in sports. From his incarceration, from his story, from his wins, from his ferociousness, Mike Tyson's punch-out, all of it. All of it. He is an international global combat sports superstar, and he should be honored, win or lose. He should be honored. At 58, I don't know why he's doing it. I hope it's to prove a point. I hope it's to prove a point. And I hope the point is he's going to toy with this kid and he's going to bash his head in. I don't think it's going to happen. But official play over 5.5 rounds for 1.1 units. Second bet, we go to Purdue hosting Alabama, and they are home dogs. Huh? Look, I hit Arizona State yesterday. They were catching 5.5 points from Grand Canyon. I couldn't figure it out. It's like, how in the hell is Grand Canyon favored over Arizona State? How is a team that's going to go into the Mountain West Conference, a team that's playing in the WAC, favored by 5.5 points out of a Big 12 school? It didn't make any sense. Nearly a double-digit win for Arizona. I don't understand how Purdue is a dog here at home. Like, what are we doing? Purdue plus 2.5? What? I don't get this at all. Look, I know Bama's really talented. I know Mark Sears is really good. I know Grant Nelson's a matchup problem for most teams, not Purdue. I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense to me. According to KenPom, this is an outright win for Purdue. 81-79. and yet Purdue is a 2.5-point dog. I hope they're a dog when you guys wake up and get this, because I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Purdue should be favored. They're not. Wrong team's favored. I like Alabama. I like their offense. But Purdue's offense is 4th in the country in adjusted efficiency. Alabama is 6th. Purdue is 54th in defensive efficiency. Alabama is 20th. Effective field goal percentage, Purdue is 5th. Alabama is 64th. In three-point percentage, Bama is not hitting threes right now. They're 235th at 30.1%. Flip side, Purdue, they're nailing their threes. 43.7%. That's top 20 in the country. They're top 30 in the country in two-point percentage. Alabama's top 10 in the country in two-point percentage. They have not been hitting their threes, but they have been getting to the foul line a lot and hitting a lot of free throws. They're not making a ton of them, though. I mean, they're taking a lot of them, not making a ton of them. 67.6% is 227th in the country. Look, I think Purdue wins the game. I'll take the plus 2.5 points here with Purdue. I think the wrong team is favored here. I like Purdue. Give me the Boilermakers at home, rockin' home crowd, Mackey Arena. First road game of the year for Alabama. Tough environment, tough opponent. Purdue wins the game. Plus 2.5, though. I'll take it for 1.1 units. And finally, West Virginia Pitt. It's the backyard brawl. Basketball edition of the backyard brawl. Look, we faded West Virginia at home against UMass, my school, and they won by 9. We took the 10, and they covered. West Virginia's, I like D-Rock a lot, all right? You look at some of these numbers for West Virginia under Darren DeVries, and I know it's really, really early, but West Virginia is a 7-point dog to Pitt, and I don't understand it. Again, I get why Pitt's favored. They should be favored, but by 7? That seems too heavy to me. Pittsburgh is a good defensive team, but not an outstanding defensive team. West Virginia is hitting 38.6% of their threes so far this year. That's 52nd in the country. Up against a Pitt defensive team that's giving up 31.6% shooting percentage-wise defense. That's 156th in the country. If West Virginia hits their threes, West Virginia can win this game outright. I cannot wait to watch this game. According to KenPom, this is an 8-point win for Pitt, 78-70. I think West Virginia can keep this game a little bit closer, in particular with 3-point percentage, which is nearly top 50 in the country for West Virginia. And Pittsburgh only hits 34.7% of their threes. That's 144th in the country. Defensively, West Virginia, top 75 in efficiency, top 35 in effective field goal percentage. D-Rock brings the defense. And while this team is starting to gel, D-Rock knows rivalries. Darren DeVries knows about rivalries. He knows how big this game is. This is going to be an awesome environment on a Friday night at Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. These are games, what I told you before. Remember when I told you about North Carolina and Kansas? And I took North Carolina plus the points, and they nearly won the game. Same thing with West Virginia. Give me the points. In a rivalry game, give me +7. West Virginia +7 on the road at Pitt in the basketball version of the backyard brawl. All right, so plays for tonight. We're going with Tyson and Jake Paul. Over 5.5 rounds at -110 for 1.1 units. Purdue +2.5 at home against Alabama for 1.1 units. And West Virginia +7 on the road at Pittsburgh for 1.1 units. My name is Matt Peralt. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. It is the Daily Juice Podcast presented by DraftKings.